Good morning, everyone. How's everyone feeling this morning? Oh, it's good. It's good. All right. Well, welcome to our community gathering this Sunday. There are just some few announcements before we get started. Oh. All right. So, cue this. Oh, sorry. All right. So, actually, today is our first day of our relationship series. We do still have brochures. I believe they're on the back on the table. You can just grab one and please invite a friend or a family who may be interested in joining us on Sundays. It'd be really great. And please follow us on social media. So we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're even on YouTube. So our name is Belvedere Family. So yeah, there's some exciting updates and videos and really cool content for all of us to learn more about our family and also just be connected as well. Right. And just before, I just wanted to invite Pastor Justin up just for a short little message.
All right. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Good morning. It's good to see you all here. Wow, feeling such incredible energy, and we barely started, so that's a good sign. I just wanted to make a real quick special announcement. We have a new leadership stepping up. Almost every single week, we're announcing new leadership, which is really exciting. And today, I want to just give a special welcome to our new community gathering coordinator, Kester Wilkening. He's going to be filling in that role. Let's give it up for Kester. Very grateful for that. And to close this portion off, we're actually going to watch an introduction video to our new sermon series. Let's enjoy that. Did you know that only 9% of people are fulfilled in their relationships, and that 31% of people will die alone? That's because most people aren't practicing the 3 most important things that you need to know in order to create those intimate, fulfilling, and juicy relationships. And I'm going to tell you what they are. Number 1, most of what we call love is not love at all. It's manipulation. And we've all felt what it feels like to be manipulated. You got to know the difference between real love and imitation love. Number 2, for real love to happen, it takes having the courage to be honest about who you really are. Unless you're honest and show people who you really are, you will never feel truly loved. Number 3, you need to make sure that you are filling yourself up every single day, every single week, so that you have the capacity in your heart to love others. I want to invite you to a place where you can be loved and you can learn what it takes to have those intimate, fulfilling, and juicy relationships. Starting Sunday on November 6th at 10 a.m., I'll be hosting a relationship series at the beautiful Belvedere Estate, and I want to invite you to be there. This is going to be completely free, and you're going to meet amazing people from around the world who are making the conscientious choice to learn how to love and share that love with everyone around them. There's also going to be great music and a practical message that will transform your relationships. My name is Justin Okamoto. I'm a pastor, a life coach, and a father, and I hope to see you there.
Great. Wow, that was amazing. Now let's bring up the song team. Woo!
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Great. Wonderful to see you. So we have 2 amazing songs for you to support our pastor's message today. Amazing Grace, My Chains Are Gone, and You Are My Vision. So we need a vision to break these chains. Don't you think so? We need to have a clear vision to break the chains, the cycle that we're in. So we're going to sing these two songs. So I want you all to stand up, give us all your energy. Okay? Here we go. Oh, 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 oh. One more time. Oh, you are my vision. You are my vision. Oh, King of my heart. Nothing else satisfies only you, Lord. You are my best, Lord, by day or by night. Waking or sleeping, your presence, my Lord. Oh, you are my vision. You are my vision. You are my true word. I am with you. I am with you, and you with me, Lord. You're my great Father, and I'm your true Lord. You live inside me. Together we're everybody sing out. Oh, you are my battleship, sword more than mine. You are my dignity, you're my delight. You're my soul shelter, and you're my tower. You raise me heavenward, oh fire of my heart. Sing it! Oh, I don't want riches or man's empty praise. You're my inheritance, now and always. You and you only, the first in my heart. I, King of heaven, my treasure you are. Oh, King of heaven. King of heaven, victorious one. May I reach heaven's joy, oh bright heaven's sun. Out of my own heart, forever before, still be my vision, oh ruler of all. Heart of my own heart, forever before, still be my vision, oh ruler of all. Sing it! Oh, amen. Oh, you are my vision. So now that we have the vision, we're going to break the chains. Amazing grace.
the song
Save the wretch.
that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I am found.
Was blind.
But now I see.
I see. What's grace that taught my heart? It's grace that hath taught my heart. Pick up the pace. Grace by faith release. How precious thing that grace of the hour I first believed. My chains are gone. My chains are gone. I've been set free. My God, my Savior. My God, my Savior has a ransom of me. And the light of the Lord is a mercy reign. And ending alone. Amazing grace. The Lord has promised. His promise good to me. His words my hope secure. My hope secure. Oh, as the Lord has promised good to me. He will my shield and portion me. As long as life and joy, my chains are gone. I've been set free. You've been set free. You've been set free. Yeah, as a ransom of me. And Lord, that's Lord, is a mercy reigns. Unending love, amazing grace. Let's say that again, sing it again. My chains are gone. I've been set free. Feel the chains going. Oh, 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 is a mercy reign, unending love, oh, such amazing grace. The earth shall soon dissolve like snow. The sun forbear to shine, but God will call me here below, will be forever mine. Sing it with conviction, will be forever mine. Will be forever mine. And God says, you'll be forever mine. Amen. Thank you.
All right, let's give it up one more time for our amazing song team. So we got a little something special for you all. This is going to be the debut of our new performance band here. And we are really excited to perform for you. So this song, well, first of all, just to introduce everybody, we've got Stephanie Diaz on the drums. We've got Yasmin Leary on the bass. And we got Yuki Jones on the guitar. So this song is called Be Yourself. And it's a song originally by the band Audio Slave. Very good band. But yeah, it's all about really the power of just being yourself. Sometimes we go through life and difficult things happen in life. We go through challenges, but all we can really do is just be ourselves. So that's what this song's all about. Whew. How you guys feeling? A little sweaty? That's a good thing. All right, good.
Someone falls to pieces, sleeping all alone. Someone kills the pain, spinning in the silence. She finally drifts away. Someone gets excited in a chapel yard, catches a bouquet. Another lays a dozen white roses on a grave. Yeah. Yourself is all that you can do. Be yourself is all that you can do. Someone finds salvation, everyone another only pain. Someone tries to hide himself, down inside himself he prays. Someone swears it's true love until the end of time. Another runs away, separate or united, healthy or insane. To be yourself is all that you can do. Be yourself is all that you can do. To be yourself is all that you can do. To be yourself is all that you can do. Ladies and gentlemen, Yuki Jones. Even when you paid enough, been pulled apart or been held up, every single memory of the good or bad faces of love. Don't lose any sleep tonight. I'm sure everything will end up alright. You may
Wow, wasn't that amazing? Woo! Gosh, you can definitely feel the energy. It's really heating up. All right, now we can just join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Parents and true parents, we're gathered here today on this beautiful Sunday morning. It's still very warm outside, and just feeling that warmth also within our community here this morning. Just feeling all the music and the praise, everything that God has given us here today, bringing us all together. And I pray that through the speech and the words that are given today is coming from you, God, and speaking through the speaker today and really breaking that cycle within ourselves and within our minds and feeling that love and that commitment and that devotion for bringing that unconditional love within our hearts to share with everybody within our families, with our spouses, with our children, and our brothers and sisters today. And I pray that through those words, we're able to feel within our own hearts that the love that we have within ourselves, even if we go through so many trials and sometimes feeling like we want to give up, but knowing that God is always there to support us, to guide us, and to find the way through, and to feel that that love does exist, and it's truly expansive and holds space for everybody here. And I pray this in my name, in all of our names here. Aju. All right. So I would like to introduce you to our speaker today. He's a really true inspiration and a force for our community here. And we all know him and we all love him very much. Here's to Pastor Justin.
All right. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Got to get my adrenaline calmed down a little bit. How are you all doing? Doing good? It's good to be here together with all of you. Yeah, I'm very excited to share with all of you today. We're going to be starting our new relationship series. I can get, all right. And yeah, I want to just say before I start is that the series, although many times I might give an example about a romantic relationship or a relationship between a husband and wife, but these principles, these ideas, they can be applied in any relationship that you have in your life. It could be with a friend, it could be with a parent, a child, it could be with an in-law. These principles are universal. And today we're going to be specifically talking about breaking the cycle, and I'll go into a little bit more what I mean by that as we go forward. But you saw this in the intro video. This is a statistic that they took in 2021. It said only 9% of people found fulfillment in a spouse, romantic partner, marriage, dating, or romantic life. Only 9%. So some of you might hear that and read that and might feel surprised, like, oh, wow, 9%, only 9%. Some of you might hear that and think, oh, thank God I'm not the only one who's struggling. Some of you are like 91% of people are struggling. Okay, so maybe I'm not a terrible person after all. It's just we're all going through a lot, right? We're all going through a lot in our relationship, and it's totally normal to go through struggles in our relationships. I want to make this real for all of us. I want to ask you, how many of you have ever felt unfulfilled, unsatisfied, stuck, or a lack of freedom in a relationship? Again, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be with a friend, with a parent, with a child. If you've ever felt that feeling of stuckness of this is not going to where I want it to be, or maybe a feeling of a lack of freedom to really be yourself in that relationship. Just be your full self. Have you ever experienced that? Just want to get a show of hands, make sure we're all in the right place. Okay, yeah, it looks like we're all in the right place. Okay. So I want to share some words from our mother, Moon. This is from her memoirs. She says, people enter into different, various types of relationships and encounter different kinds of problems. But the root of all these problems is the same, the flawed relationship between man and woman. I'm saying that each person's happiness depends on his or her ability to achieve peace in their marriage and family. So I think often in life, some of the most difficult relationships are the relationships that are closest to us, relationships with our family, with our spouse, with our children. I wonder if any of you have ever had this thought, which I think many times, why is it that it's so much easier for me to really share my heart with a close friend or a brother or sister in the community, but sometimes feels so difficult to share with the people that I live with? Have you ever felt that way? In my case, sometimes it's even a lot easier for me to share more freely when I'm up here at the pulpit. I could share my heart with all of you. And when I go home, a lot of times I feel my heart closes and I feel not as free to share with the people that I live with, people in my family. So why do we get stuck? Let's talk about that. So being stuck, what I mean by stuck, it's like this experience of stagnation or a lack of growth. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the relationship is terrible or something's terribly wrong or abusive or anything like that, causing you some kind of intense agony. Being stuck can sometimes just look like feeling very comfortable. We have a routine. Every night we watch an hour of Netflix, we go to sleep. I've got a warm body to sleep to. Occasionally we get intimate. Occasionally we go on a date. And it feels okay. Like stuckness can just be like, it feels okay, right? It hasn't gotten to a place of great or amazing, but it's okay. There's not a lot of excitement, not a lot of life in that relationship. And again, some of it, it's not necessarily a romantic relationship, but it could be a relationship with your parents, with a friend, where you just feel like it's just always been this way. It's probably always going to be this way in the future. Have you experienced that feeling before? Let me just get another show of hands. Who felt stuck in a relationship before? If you felt that before. Okay, so the question is, pretty much all hands went up, right? In case you didn't notice. If your hand didn't go up, you're probably just feeling a little shy today, and that's okay. But why is this such a universal experience for us? One thing to understand is that this is a pattern that doesn't just show up in your personal life or your family, but this is something that we are surrounded with constantly. Stuckness, stagnation, and eventual breakdown of relationship is not an exception in this world. It is very normal. It's very normal. It's all around us. You turn on the TV and what do you see? Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. We see in the world of celebrity breakdown. Not going to get into whose team I'm on. That's something you'll have to ask me privately. We see that in the royal family, right? The British royal family, these families that hold a lot of influence in society. It's very normal to see stagnation, family breakdown. We see that in the history of leaders of this country, leaders of nations all around the world. There could be a leader who does so many amazing things, can, make the economy start up again and have everybody's well-being, standard of living go up. Yet we see even these great leaders struggle so much to keep their family together, right? To keep their marriage together in integrity, not just externally speaking, like, yeah, you can stand next to somebody, but artistically united together. We see that in biblical history with, King Solomon, all these biblical figures. We see that again with Abraham's family, again and again and again, all the way back to the first family of Adam and Eve. And let's look at that breakdown of the first family. This is a really important thing to understand. It says in Genesis, and he said, "Who told you you were naked?" So this is God speaking to Adam and Eve after the fall. He says, "Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" The man said, "The woman you put here with me, she gave me some fruit from the tree, and I ate it." Then the Lord God said to the woman, "What is this you have done?" The woman said, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate it." Okay, so does that sound a little familiar? So do you think, let's just try to imagine, right? Let's just imagine Adam and Eve, they got kicked out of the garden. Do you think that they went on to live happily ever after as a married couple and build an amazing family? Do you think it was that way? I'm sure there were times where Adam and Eve are maybe, sitting in their little hut, and maybe it's like November, getting close to the winter, and Eve says to Adam, Adam, if you don't hunt more, if we don't get more food, we might not make it to the winter. And Adam says, "Woman, Eve, easy for you to say. If it wasn't for you seducing me in that garden, we would have still been in the garden if it wasn't for you." And watching those parents constantly fight and argue, Cain, Abel, Seth, and however many kids that they had, they were constantly watching that and never learning what a healthy relationship actually looks like. What does it actually look like to love somebody? And that behavior, those ideas gets passed on from generation to generation to generation until we are here where we are right now. And that's why it says in Psalm, "Behold, I was brought forth in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me." Right? We are all born in this pattern that's been going on for generation after generation. Another way to say this is that we didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. Anyone know that one? We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. All of us are actually unconsciously repeating a pattern that we've inherited from our family, from our parents, our lineage, and being strengthened in our culture. These habits are being strengthened by our culture. So the first thing that I want all of us to know is that you have to forgive yourself, okay? Forgive yourself for the state of your relationship, okay? Forgive yourself. It is not your fault. You are not to blame. Your spouse is definitely not to blame. Your parents are not to blame. You may be not to blame, but what I do want to say is that you always have the opportunity to take responsibility for your life and your reality. You have that opportunity all the time. So it also says, "No, we didn't light it, but we'll try to fight it." And it's our responsibility to break that cycle. So how do we go about that? How do we take that responsibility so that we can free ourselves from this historical cycle of family breakdown, of relationship breakdown? First of all, I want to ask you, do you want to be free of that cycle? I'll ask that one more time. Do you want to be free of that cycle? Yes. All right, I do too. And so I want to share with you 3 things that you need to know. You need to practice these things in order to be free from this cycle. So the first point is you need to know what you really want in your relationship, okay? You need to have an ideal, like a destination that you want to get to. Because if you don't have a destination, you cannot have a direction, okay? And if you don't have a direction, then you cannot move forward. You'll be like a ship without a compass that is sailing and sailing and sailing around, never getting to a destination. So the first point is know what you really want in your relationships. And there are 3 questions that you can ask yourself. Number 1, what do I want to have together? Okay. So like, I want to have a house together. I want to have 3 kids, 4 kids together. I want to have a Tesla that we can drive together. You all know that already. But also emotions and feelings. What kind of feelings do you want to have when you're with your partner, with your friend, with your family? I want to feel connected to this person. I want to feel in love with this person. I want to feel excited when I see this person. The second point is, what do I want to do together? What are some things that you'd like to do together in your partnership, in your family, with your kids, with your friends? You know, one thing is, I want to have amazing, wild, crazy, passionate board game nights with my wife. I don't know about you, but I would love that. I think that would be amazing. And the last point is, who do I want to be in this relationship? And this might be the most important point. Who do I want to be? I want to be this loving, compassionate person, kind person. I want to be a husband that my wife gets excited to tell people about. Like, oh, my husband, let me tell you about him. He's amazing. Of course, my wife's Japanese, so she might not say those words exactly. She might say, 私の旦那、本当に素晴らしいです。とっても愛してます。I love him so much. I want to be a father who teaches his children how to love unconditionally. That's the kind of father I'd like to be in that relationship. So this is the first point, is you got to know really specifically what you want in your relationship. The second point is you have to be honest about where you really are in the relationship. So if you've read the book, The Divine Principle, you're probably pretty familiar with this diagram. So this is a process it talks about in the Divine Principle called origin, division, union, action. You say that together. Ready? Origin, division, and union, action. All right, I made a little dance to that. Origin, division, union, action. It's very easy to remember. Basically, it explains the Divine Principle. This is how creation happens. This is how growth happens in our life. And if you're new to this, don't worry about it. You'll catch on. But how does God help us to grow to maturity, grow both internally ourselves in the relationship and grow our relationships to maturity? So he puts us into situations that give us insights and truth and awakens our eyes and our hearts to see the reality. See the reality. And usually what we're going to see is we're going to see division. We're going to see division. We're going to see a division between our reality and our ideal. My life as lived and my ideal, what I really want in my life. God is going to show us this. He's going to show us, like, I want to have a close, connected relationship with my spouse, right? That's the ideal. And the reality is, I don't feel connected to her. The reality is, I feel lonely. I feel unloved. So, and then there are these little arrows in the middle, and that's the work. That's the work that we need to do. We call that give and take action. It's through communication, communicating with our spouse, with our friends, with our siblings, that we take one step closer to our ideal and we experience growth in our life. Through having give and take with God at the center of that, we give birth to something new. We give birth to a new version of ourselves, a new version of our couple, a new version of our family. So where do we get stuck? Where do we get stuck along the way? The place where we get stuck is we often pretend. We often pretend that we are already in the ideal. Or sometimes we're pretending that we're right here in the growth. We don't like to acknowledge that we're right here in the reality. of our relationship, of our life. We like to show that we have the perfect life, the perfect family, the perfect relationship, the perfect children. And sometimes it's not even we're trying to pretend in front of somebody else, but we're pretending with ourselves. We've convinced ourselves, oh, my relationship is fine. This is fine. The way it is exactly the way that I want it to be. My family is great. My life is great. We've convinced ourselves with thousands of explanations and reasons of why it is the way it is. And often, the biggest reason why it is the way it is, well, this wouldn't be the way it is if my spouse would just change. She would just change a little bit. Then maybe we'd start growing. Then maybe we'd start getting closer to our ideal. We get to a point where we say, I've tried everything. I've tried everything to make this work. And all of that dishonesty, the pretending, the lies, does not allow for this process to happen so that we can move towards growth, and we end up being stuck. So I know this was very conceptual, so I want to bring it down to earth for all of us here. And I want to tell you a little bit about my story. And this is a story that is constantly being written. This is not a story that has an ending of, and they lived happily ever after. It is a story that every single day, this present moment is continuing to be written, and we are creating and striving towards the happily ever after, right? So I want to just share, honestly, what's happened in my marriage recently. So a couple of weeks ago, I was at a wedding. A few weeks ago, I was at a wedding, and it was an amazing wedding. It was actually these two wonderful daughters' wedding, Grace and Ace Naka. And I had the pleasure of officiating the wedding. It was my first time officiating a wedding. It was really cool, really beautiful. The people were beautiful. I was so happy to be there with such amazing friends that I haven't seen in many, many years. And at one point during the wedding, what happens after the ceremony is there's the dancing. You got it. Exactly. There's the dancing. And so, I'm looking at all these couples dancing, and they're having a good time. And I'm thinking, oh man, I would really like to dance right now. So I look at my wife, and I don't remember who said it first, but one of us said, let's go dance. So we got on the dance floor, and we start dancing with each other. And we're doing a little bit of this, all kinds of things. And, we're having a good time. But I start to notice something as I'm dancing with my wife. I start to notice that she's not looking at me. As we're dancing, she's looking at all of the other couples dancing. And this kind of frustrated me. I kind of felt, I thought dancing was about us, not about them. So eventually I speak up and I tell my wife, can you look at me while we dance? And she says to me, well, I really like looking at the other couples. She says, I really enjoy looking at everybody else. And I'm like feeling like, like, but like, I know I get you like that, but dancing is about us connecting. Let's connect. I want to connect with you. And she's like, I don't know about that. So I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And I'm just like, okay, let's sit down. Let's sit down. So I'm sitting down and I'm feeling the, the anger rising and the frustration building. And I'm thinking to myself, and I'm realizing this is kind of a metaphor for our relationship. And I thought, yeah, like we are physically with each other. We're externally with each other. We do the chores. We take care of the kids. We sleep next to each other. But we're both often thinking about other people. We're thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow. We're thinking about what happened yesterday. We're not actually connecting and being present with each other. And like, this is my spouse. This is my love. So I'm kind of sitting there in this state of intense frustration and agony. And I tell my wife, I have to go outside. I have to go outside. So I went outside, and it was actually, the wedding was right here on top of the hill. So I was up there on top of the hill. There's this big rock over there, and I was just laying down, and I was just looking up at the stars. And I was talking to God. I was saying to God, God, why is it like this? What happened to us? Like, we started off this relationship so hopeful, so in love. And why are we at this state where I don't feel connected to her? I feel like I felt so alone at that wedding as I was dancing. I felt so alone. So I was out there for like a good 20 minutes. My wife thought I went to the bathroom. She started getting concerned. So I go back in, and she's like, "Where were you?" And I was like, "Listen, I don't want to say something I'm going to regret." So I had to go outside. And she's like, "Okay, whatever. Let's go home." So we go home, driving, not saying a word to each other. I'm very upset. She's very upset because I left her in that, at that table alone. And we go to bed, like not saying anything to each other. And I wake up the next day, and I'm praying, and I'm thinking, all right, God, what the heck is going on here? Like, I'm supposed to be the one that's got it all together. I'm leading a community of people. Why am I struggling so much in my marriage? So I start writing down. I just start writing down everything that's on my mind, clearing my mind out. And really what I'm writing is everything I don't like about her. And all of my complaints and all of the difficulties and all the ways that I felt she made me feel. And I just sit with that. And I look at that. I think, okay, this is not good. This is not what I want. But as I reflected, I realized every single complaint that we have, on the flip side, is a real desire that we have for our relationship. Like, I really want to connect more with my wife. I really want to have intimacy with my wife. I want to feel like we are a team together. And so I scrapped that one, and I ended up writing my wife a letter. And in the letter, it contained all of my desires of what I want to see in our relationship, and also a little bit about how I've been feeling in the relationship. And in the letter, I said, let's do 3 days where we don't talk to each other. We just write letters to each other. We can message each other if we need anything, but let's not talk for 3 days. And so I give that to her. And I know she read it, and I can tell it really hurt. She felt really sad about it. But I felt really strongly that this was necessary to break this cycle. And, we did this 3 days of separation, of not talking to each other. We did that. And I'm going to be real honest with you. I think you already got that picture. But at some points during the 3 days, I thought my marriage was over. I thought we were beyond repair. I thought, I gave it my best shot, and this is probably just not going to work. And that was actually the first time that I really considered that as a possibility, that this marriage might not work. But we got through the 3 days. And let me tell you, I didn't know how God was working so incredibly through that situation to bring us up to a higher level in our relationship, to bring us up to everything that we actually want in that relationship. So I want to say, this is a picture from yesterday. And today, more than ever, I felt in our marriage, I feel closer to her. I feel so in love with this woman. And I'm just so grateful to God that put us in that situation to see the reality of my marriage and to work on it, So do you want to know what we did together to create this amazing intimacy out of that difficult situation? Are you interested in that? Are you interested in that? Well, in order to get the rest of the story, you're going to have to come back next week. So that's going to be a little something to look forward to next time. But I want to say this is where it all starts. I had to get some sense, some idea of what I really wanted in our marriage. I took that time to write those letters, to talk to God about it. I needed to take that time to be honest about where we really were in this relationship. Be honest, first of all, with myself. Be honest with God. Be honest with her. Be honest with my friends, my family. Like, I didn't hide it that we were going through these struggles. And finally, this is the third point, is we need to take action to move towards what we really want. We can have all of the amazing insights and all of the amazing inspirations, but if you don't act on those inspirations, do something to move forward, you're going to stay stuck. So I want to finish off with a call to action. I want to invite you to take action, to choose one relationship to work on during this series. This is going to be a 6-week series. Reflect on what you want in that relationship and where you are now. Okay? Because the thing that I don't want to see happen here is I don't want everybody to come on Sunday and be so inspired and wow, I just realized the reality and the truth and where I need to go. And then you go home and nothing changes. I do not want that, because we will never grow unless we take that responsibility. And so I wanted to give an opportunity for everyone to do that. But let's take this journey one step at a time. One step at a time. We are on this journey together. I just want to say thank you so much for being together with me on this journey, because as I shared, this is very fresh for me. I'm not sharing with you things that happened years ago in my life. This was less than a month ago. I'm sharing, and I'm growing on this journey together with all of you. And I just want to say, I feel so loved and supported by this community, and I'm here for all of you. And I know God, more than anything, God is here for all of us. So next time, we're going to be going through this topic of true love, and we'll get some more insight about how to, after breaking that cycle, how to create those intimate, fulfilling, and juicy relationships that we all want. Thank you so much, brothers and sisters. Please join me in prayer. Our most beloved Heavenly Parent, our God, true parents, Jesus, we thank you so much for this amazing Sunday. It is so good to be here together with our brothers and sisters. We have amazing people in this audience. Each and every one of them are so amazing. And I know that you want to bless each and every one of us so much with an incredible relationship with our spouse, with our family, with our children, with our friends. You want us to experience such incredible abundance in our relationships, Heavenly Parents. And through this message, I really pray that we can find it in our hearts to find that courage to break free from the cycle of historical and original and cultural sin, Heavenly Parents, that have been blocking us from moving forward, God. We know that you love us so much, and we love you so much for bringing us here together on this day. We thank you, and I pray all of this in my name, Justin Okamoto, of a Blessed Central family. Amen and adieu. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Let's welcome back up our MC.
Wow, Oh, thank you, Pastor Justin. That was a beautiful message. Really amazing. Yeah, I mean, what I got from it was just the part where just about forgiving ourselves, I think, first and foremost, especially, nothing is really our fault and nothing's ever the other person's fault. We just, got to forgive ourselves, give us a little patience, and yeah, we'll make it through. So, so for right now, I would like to just take this moment to reflect just about the words that Pastor Justin spoke. Here are just some questions. What was the one takeaway from this talk, and what action would you like to take this week? So if you like, you can, take a notebook if you have one and a pen to write, or you could just take out your phones and make some notes, or you could just sit with yourself and just, you can close your eyes and just really reflect on these questions. We'll just take about 4 minutes. All right. So next, we're just going to pair share. So you can look at the person next to you or behind you or whoever you feel that you want to speak to. Yeah, this is just a moment to just create this feeling of community that we can just create deeper connections with each other and just sharing what we reflected on or what you reflected on. So yeah, I'll give you about 4 minutes, so 2 minutes for each, and I'll let you know when to switch. All right, please switch partners if you haven't already. All right. So why don't we just close whatever we've just been talking about? All right. So next we're going to have at least 2 or 3 people share. Whoever feels like sharing. Yeah, just keep it like at least a minute or 2 less, so that way we can have at least three people share. If anybody wants to raise their hands and would like to share what they talked about or reflected on, anybody, please.
So this is very quick. I was saying to Marina, oftentimes as couples we focus a lot on our children and we don't focus on each other. So we kind of forget that we too need to grow. And if we're not where we should be, how are our children going to see a good example? Or how are we going to know how to raise our kids in the way that, that we want to see them go? So it's a lot of time as couples, we're still children. We wait until the children are grown and gone to school or moved out. And then what happens is that it's almost like we're at the beginning point in our old age with our minds and our brains so stubborn. So it's like harder to really change or to come closer. Not difficult, but it may be difficult, but not impossible. But it's good that we know that we have to grow with as we're younger. We don't have we not ignoring your kids, but really growing with them, so to speak, but learning to grow with each other, because that's where the energy comes from for your children.
Wow, thank you, Raul. That was amazing. Hey, anybody else feel like sharing? Oh, over here.
Yeah, I shared about I wanted to get a better relationship with what I'm doing now with God. But I keep running into people that want me to get married, which I don't know why. But anyway, like I'm focused on this. I'm focused on this. But yes, so yeah, I wanted to basically really, and this is just vertical first. Want to know from this talk that you just shared, I needed to get into a deeper relationship with God as I'm on this travel to stay focused on what I am actually here for. So, and actually talking to Him, I realized what my purpose was for Him. So I needed to take His name and number to help Him in something. And that helps my relationship, because if we don't fulfill these relationships that we meet people, even though it's for a brief second, it might be the one that you truly need to have for you to go to the next person, so not leaving a relationship undone, even though I just met them. But before I can go to the next one, I have to finish this one. So thank you.
Wow, true wisdom right there, for sure. All right. Well, we have room for one more. All right.
Hello. I was reading the autobiography of Pastor Moon, and he was talking about his childhood and how he had to take care of a cow and he hated it. And his father would be like, "Go feed the cow." And what he would do, he'd bring the cow to like the edge of the farm, tie it up, and leave it there the whole day. And he would avoid it. And he would hear it mooing from so far away. I think with a lot of our relationships, we sort of push things away and try to avoid them. And then you just hear it mooing all day, and then you're like, damn it, it's still there. And he said he would go back to the cow and it wouldn't hate him. when he came back, it wasn't angry at him. When he was a child, he feared that it would like try to attack him or hurt him for avoiding it the whole day. And when he realized that the cow had immense patience, he learned patience from that cow, that it would stay there where he tied it down and it would stay there. And then when I heard him speaking about how it took 3 days where he was like really thinking about it, praying, and God was doing work, I feel like with a lot of our relationships, we just need to be more patient and not act impulsively on those feelings. And yeah, that's it.
That's beautiful. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much for sharing, all of everyone that shared. It was really beautiful. Thank you so much. And yeah, let's welcome up the song team for our closing song for the day.
Yeah, that was so wonderful, wasn't it? Incredible words, incredible day we had today. We have a clear vision. Well, the beginning of a clear vision of where we want to be and where we should be. And so we will take action. So we'll close this service. We can all stand together and we'll sing "You Are My Vision," because the Heavenly Parent is our vision.
With
the right words this time. Yes, with the right lyrics this time. You are my vision. Oh, one more time. Oh, you are my vision. You are my vision. Oh, King of my heart. Nothing else satisfies, only you, Lord. You are my best thought, my day or my night. Waking or sleeping, your presence. Oh, sing out. Oh, you are my vision. You are my true word. My everything, you and you with me, Lord. You are a Father, and I am your Son. You dwell inside me, and everyone. Oh, you are my battlefield, so the fight. You are my dignity, you're my delight. You're my strong shelter, and you're my high tower. Praise me, good, oh God of my hope. Sing it. I don't want riches or man's empty praise. You're my inheritance now and always. You're and you only, the first in my heart. My King of heaven, my treasure, you are. Oh, my King of heaven, when victory's won, may I reach heaven's joyful bright heaven's sun. Heart of my own heart, don't ever be you all for coming. God bless you and have a great week.